Hi everyone, my name is James Feeney. Welcome to or back to my channel. I don't know if I am going to post what I'm recording now. This is very impromptu. I am out in nature and I am on a walk. It's a beautiful day. It's the second day of spring technically, or the second day after the vernal equinox. So it's about almost 75 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm not sure what that is in Celsius. It's insane that it is this warm. But I'm out and enjoying it, and I thought that given the way things are, getting outside is one of the few things that is a benefit, and as it's getting warmer, but we're still going through these circumstances, I think it's nice that we have that option to say, go deeper or spend time with ourselves and go out into nature, which is something, oh, I'm blocking the camera, which is something that I do enjoy. And so I thought I would just bring out the camera a little bit and talk to you guys. I'm not sure what exactly about, but maybe these glasses aren't the best idea. Oh my, they make everything so warm toned. I seem like I'm in like this gray landscape now. Okay, so yeah, what I have with me is my camera. Usually when I'm out in nature, I have, or when I'm out at all, usually I'll bring my camera to take pictures, either for Instagram, my website, or for myself just to have, because I enjoy taking pictures. I guess what this whole video is about doing what you like and enjoying the things that we do have at our disposal or available to us at these times. And a big one, especially on a day that has nicer weather. This is really nice. I do not need this jacket at all. Actually, I'm about to take it off, I think, because I'm beginning to sweat. But so going out and taking pictures is a big one for me. I think going out with my camera puts me in a certain frame of mind where I am a lot more observant of my environment and certain aspects within it, what I see to be beautiful, because I usually would then like to capture it. Sorry if this is shaky, I'm holding it with my hand. So I think even just bringing my camera with me puts me in a better frame of mind to appreciate what's going on around me, because I am keeping my eye out for things that I might want to take a picture of. I brought an iced coffee. This place that I get the iced coffees from is still open, which is surprising, and I think that they're doing it really well. The measures that they're taking, I should say. We have to text our orders in. You cannot order in the store anymore, and then once you get there, they already have a text order feature, but that's now the only way that you can make a purchase. And then on top of that, you have to receive a confirmation text, which is new, that your order is ready to enter the store. Somebody's there to keep the door open so you don't have to touch anything. You pay with card only, and then you only enter when your drink is ready, and then you leave. So it really minimizes the amount of contact and the amount of surfaces that need to be touched, and the exchange of money, and being out in spaces and keeping that social distance. So I want to just like almost give a shout out to these places that, of course, I'm not saying that it's better or worse to stay open or not. I think it's, in a lot of cases, safer to adhere to policies and do what you can, and that most of the time entails being closed. But I do applaud businesses like that for getting really creative and keeping some of the as I almost drop it, keeping some of the nice things that we look forward to in a day available to us, but in a way that's a lot more safe and accessible given the circumstances. So I have my iced coffee, and I brought my bag, I have my glasses down here now. I brought my lemon escape bag, my tote, and I'll take you guys through. I want to almost hold the other side of the phone, but I know I'll block the camera. I brought my tote, and there's a couple really nice parks by me. I am fortunate, but I came to one, and where I am now on a trail, there aren't so many tables and chairs. So if I go back to more of the starting area, which I think I will later, there will be tables and chairs, which is why I have things like books and my tarot deck, or a tarot deck. So I have, here, I'll turn the camera around. How do I do that? It goes to show how good I am at all this. Let's see. I don't know. Okay. I guess I'll just try to pull things out and not drop them in the mud. So I have my little tarot on the go kit, which has like a reading cloth, the deck, a smaller notebook, a pen. It's in a reading bag inside, so there's all of that. I'll just put that on my lap actually. And then I have, here, I'm just trying to, is that at all visible? I don't know. I have basically, what is it? Understanding Aleister Crowley's Thoth Tarot by Lon Milo Duquette, the new edition. So that's one I've been reading recently. I had it on vacation, didn't finish it, so I have that, and then I have my journal to hopefully have some reflections. I will say, with everything that's going on, I plan to do sort of a fun thing for myself, like a magical ritual or ceremony in celebration of the vernal equinox, or Ostara, or whatever you got, whoever calls it what. I kind of just refer to it as the vernal equinox, and I don't attribute any formal names that are tied to certain traditions, although vernal equinox, if you break down the words, I'm sure there's the way that we attribute and find titles for that. So I just like to go about doing my own thing, and it's nice to have a sort of celebration. I'm on a log right now, so balancing things can be tough. But yeah, I'm sad that I missed that a bit, but it's the day after, and if anything, today's really nice, so maybe I'll just throw caution to the wind, or the details, and just go about doing my thing today. And I guess maybe I'll check in later on this walk, maybe I won't, maybe I'll upload this, maybe I won't, but I just thought it would be nice to take you guys along for a bit of my day and what it is that I'm doing to sort of find the silver lining and enjoy certain things that we have during these tougher times, things that we can take advantage of and enjoy. So I'll check back in a bit. Hi everyone, I'm back. I finished walking that trail, which was nice. It's gotten progressively cloudier. It started out very sunny, so it might rain, so I guess it's good that I got out when I did. But I got back here and I wanted to, well, first I'll show you guys what I actually wanted to show you in my bag, which is, I mean, I mentioned the title, but this is the book, and then my journal, just so you guys get to see. And so I thought I would pull some cards for us all, having to do with, say, this rebirth, regrowth, period within a cycle, the wheel that we are entering, and also given just like the current time frame and where we're at. I thought, sorry, there's people around and I just get distracted, but I thought I would pull some cards for you guys, or for us as a whole, as a collective. I don't really do this very often, but why not? So I think we're gonna just wing it, no set positions, just pull 3 cards to kind of give us an idea, maybe like a diagnostic of what's going on, maybe even depending on what pops up, some things that we can do or focal points that we can highlight to hopefully get through this and use it to the best of its abilities for purposes of growth and I don't know, personal progression. So we'll do that. All right. So first we have 9 of Wands, strength in the Thoth system. So that's pretty applicable, I think. One, just entering that, I know that there's, well, I attribute this card with a lot more solar energy, and I think entering this time frame where, of course, strength is necessary, personal strength. I think that this card is kind of highlighting the need for inner personal strength in a more rebellious or solitary sense. When I see the 9 of Wands, I think of somebody who is a contrarian or who is standing alone. So it's not strength that we get as a collective, it's not strength that we draw from a group, it's strength that we need to engender within ourselves, to spark up, to really be pushed, to draw out. It's not a strength card that I find comes up in comfortable circumstances. It's more so when we're pushed and our back's against the wall, or we're cornered, or we've faced adversity, and strength is sort of the way up and out of that, and the way that we can best navigate and mitigate any further negative influences, or to get sort of that upward momentum going as opposed to a downward spiral. So I think what this card is kind of letting us know is that yes, there's this period of isolation, that the strength that is required now is not one that's easy or that comes from a really positive and collective place. It's very personal, it's raw, it's visceral, and it's something that we all kind of have to draw on and figure out for ourselves. I don't think it's something that is a one-size-fits-all scenario, and this card speaks to that, especially as a card that at least I tend to associate with isolation or a solitary sort of experience. So keep that in mind, and just really look for periods where you can, say, exercise your strength. I know that this is something that sounds corny, and there's a lot of I've seen a lot of examples like, oh, you want to be courageous. Instead of asking for courage, ask for an opportunity to be to exercise that courage. So I guess that's kind of what I think is here. Instead of looking to and asking for strength, they're trying to see where our strength lies, looking for opportunities where we have to be strong, and in turn that will, one, let us know kind of what we have in us, and what our capabilities are and what that entails. So that's our first card. Next card here, I'll just put this over there. The next card that we have in the sequence, or the set of 3 I pulled, is the Empress, and I think that this one is referring a lot more so to the time of year, the vernal equinox, the beginning of spring, Ostara, the rebirth, the growth. When I look around me, especially this week, you can smell it in the air. You see the spring flowers, the ones that come up very early, are in full bloom. We're starting to see a lot on the trees. You can't see it as much here, but when you get closer, you see all the buds and a lot of small leaves. And so I think the Empress is in her element right now, and I think that it's her energy that is at play, especially during this time of the year as the cycle sort of goes. So for me, I think she's speaking to that, but I also think that in, the bugs are starting to come out, that in acknowledging or being aware of the Empress and her energies at this current time, we can play off of that, and we can also draw from it. It's happening in nature. It's something that we are a part of as well, and we are experiencing. So how can we use that to further our circumstances or to better our circumstances during this time? For example, I've gotten outside. There's a lot of opportunities to go outward to find abundance in unconventional areas where we can't prosper, say, in the traditional sense, but that's not to say that the energies associated with the Empress are gone or devoid from our lives. They are in different forms. It's like energy, in energy, how energy cannot be destroyed, destroyed. It can only shift forms. I did not say that very well, but you get the point. The idea that energy is something that just changes or is like dispersed, and it changes forms, but it can't be destroyed. So her energies exist, and right now they are existing in a way that makes us think potentially that they aren't around, but they are. They're very much alive and present, and we need to figure out how we can exist with it, how we can play into them, how we can interact with it. And so looking for opportunities like catching up on reading, or time with family and friends when you are in, say, isolation and they're the people that you are surrounded by, or things that personal projects that you've wanted to work on, getting in touch with yourself. Maybe you're very out of touch with who you are because a lot of your life has been this external sort of pulling apart of the pieces of you, and now you have time to sit and really get in touch, and that might be uncomfortable. We might resist it, and I know even as somebody who prides themselves on loving alone time and getting in touch with themselves, it's still difficult. So I think that there is a lot of this prosperity, this rebirth, this energy that is beneficent and healing. It is around us, and we just need to figure out in what alternative forms it's existing and how we can tap into that. So next, and our final card we have, is the 8 of Cups. Indolence, I guess that's how you say it, that's how I say it, in the Thoth system. And I think this one is, of all, our, maybe not the negative Nancy, but it is one that is, I think, harkening back to the first card that we had and how that strength was more of a solitary experience. I think that the 8 of Cups is a more solitary experience, more emotional and profound and deep than, say, what the Strength card calls for in fostering and drawing up that that inner fire, that passion, whereas this is more of an exodus that needs to take place, of a forced movement due to circumstances that would, say, destroy someone if they weren't to change course or to make other decisions based on the current climate. So with this coming up, I think it is telling us that it's time to redirect, it's time to pull the anchor up and to get the ship going, as opposed to staying in the harbor amidst the waves, like a sort of evacuation, if you will, and to not think that you are, say, above that or beyond it, but to play into it. So I think that's the energy that we're getting from this one, a lot more emotional and deep and profound, and I think it's for self-preservation and for growth. So that's sort of those external forces that force us to have to act and in turn find something new within ourselves. And so I think that this is what that card is talking about. Sorry, I got a bit distracted. Someone was walking behind me. But yeah, so we have, put them in order. She's upside down. So we have the Nine of Wands, the Empress, and the Eight of Cups. And I personally find them to be very fitting. Nothing in here, I don't think to anybody will be a major surprise. It's not like we got the Sun card, although if we had, I wouldn't. All cards, in a way, I think if anything that would have come up, I would have found to be fitting in some way. It just depends on the order and the sequence and how it played out. But I hope that that was helpful for you guys, or at least a fun experience to have drawn these cards and for us all to reflect on them. If you enjoyed this and me rambling and walking in the woods, feel free to like the video and subscribe, and let me know what you guys are doing during this period, how you're coping, what things you are doing to further yourself, the silver linings that you're finding around you. If you are struggling or going through tough times, feel free to use the comments or to even reach out to me. You can vent and just let others know how things are going for you, and hopefully we can also create a sort of support system. But I do think it's great to put things out there that are a bit more positive, or at least constructive in some way, for how we might get through these times and in a way flourish within them. So I hope you are all well. Until next time, bye guys.